Hello and welcome back to A We Talkin'. Today we're talking about non-Asian K-pop idols and your opinions and our opinions on it.
Yes.
Let's get into it. I asked on Instagram, opinions on non-Korean or non-Asian K-pop idols, specifically from my Asian followers. I'd like to know. And we're going to read out some of the responses, and here we go. Someone said Someone said K-pop is just singing and dancing in Korean along with some other stuff. That's it. These people can just become a singing group that dances. They really don't need to sing in Korean. But I guess calling yourself a non-Asian K-pop group gets you a lot of publicity. Maybe that's why they do it.
That's true.
That's very true. We were talking about this before.
Yeah. There's a lot of Fifth Harmony, Little Mix. You don't have to sing in Korean to be a girl group.
Yeah.
We have some examples of groups that promote themselves as a K-pop group, and I just it gives me weird vibes. I won't lie. Kachi. They
debuted this year, April 29th, with Your Turn.
Yeah.
And we listened to it before this, and it's not my favorite.
Yeah. They're from the UK.
Yeah.
And I know, because I read up on some of it, when all this was happening, that they were in a dance crew that did K-pop covers. And then some members from that became Kachi and got into this agency that
Front Row Records.
Yeah. That promoted them as a K-pop girl group.
Yeah. They were scouted at a K-pop dance competition, and they used to do covers, right? But like this person said in the responses, they could have become a girl group without singing in Korean or promoting themselves as a K-pop group.
There's 4 members in
Nicole, Coco, Danny, Chunso.
Yeah. And I know 2 of them speak Spanish, and one of them is actually from Korea. And the other one, Danny, she's from the UK, and I think she self-taught herself Korean. So only 2 of the members actually speak Korean.
A lot of idols come to train in Korea and don't speak it, fluent Korean. But I think you should have some knowledge, because I think knowing the language helps you know the culture, and knowing the culture helps you understand, the industry more of K-pop. So I don't really like the idea that not all of them can speak at least a little Korean. Damn, you gonna be a K-pop idol and can't speak Korean?
And I know that because I was looking through their YouTube channel, and they have videos that's learn Korean with Kachi and stuff like that, and it's just if you're promoting yourself as this K-pop group, I would think that maybe know Korean before that,
or be learning it.
Yeah. One of the members, Coco, was in an Ollie London music video, or friends with Ollie London, and Ollie London is a whole different thing.
You could literally do a whole cast on just Ollie London.
Yeah, Ollie London's very problematic in my eyes, and
so them being associated with Ollie London is not really a good sign for me personally.
Yeah.
Let's read another response. As an Asian, I don't really mind, since K-pop uses other culture sounds anyways and their concepts, as long as it does not mock us and they have some Asians in the group. I'm fine with it. Interesting. I heard since other people use in K-pop, they use other cultures or steal from other cultures or get inspiration from other cultures, then it's okay for non-Asians to be a part of K-pop. But I think that's where the line of appropriation comes in.
Yeah.
Because a lot of K-pop groups that use other cultures are appropriating, not appreciating. And I don't think that's good either way. Just because one person does something doesn't mean that it's okay. If someone kills someone, that doesn't mean it's okay for someone else to. I don't think it's good either way.
I feel the line between cultural appreciation and appropriation is very thin, and I feel like in most cases, people cross that line.
90% of the time it's crossed. And, like, people don't understand where to stop.
Exactly.
And they think that because other people are crossing the line, then they can. It's like, well, they're doing it, so I don't think it's good either way. Like, just because K-pop idols use other cultures shouldn't be allowed to also mock and take from Korean culture. It's just as bad and just as hurtful. Someone said, why do they even exist? I mean, they can go with only a people of color group. That would be better. That I kind of...
Yeah, but then it's like, if you have a whole group filled with people of colors, would you consider that as K-pop, or would that just be, like, just a regular girl group?
There's a lot of, like, other cultures and people of different ethnicities and stuff living in Korea and that have grown up in Korea. So, my question is, would they be okay being considered a K-pop idol? Like, I watched this, show called, I think it's called My Neighbor Charles or something like that, and it's like about foreign families that moved to Korea and like built their life there. And there was a family, and they were a black family, and they had kids there, and their kids grew up in Korea. Like, they only speak Korean, like, they're in Korean culturally, they're Korean. So if they grew up and wanted to, I know their daughter wanted to be an actor, but like, would they be accepted as being a K-pop idol around because they are culturally in every way besides like their skin color Korean? So would that, like, a group with people like that,
were their parents Korean or no?
No, their parents were not Korean. Their parents were from Africa.
That's a good question. Like, if they did want to become a K-pop idol, would they, like, be accepted as... In that situation, I feel like if you are, like, immersed in the culture and grew up there all your life, and, like, that's the only thing that you've ever known, it's difficult. It's, like, hard to, like,
how do you differentiate between that person and someone from the UK or America that learns Korean, learns to dance, comes over and trains, and debuts? Is there a difference between those two? Because... it's a fine line. Once again, it's a fine line. Someone said if they get proper training and educate themselves on the culture, then why not? Like, obviously, I'm not Asian, so I cannot give a definite, like, this is how it should be. Like, it's not my place. But, like, if they do participate in the same training, sign the same contract, like, study, practice Korean, and do all that stuff, where's the line that says that they can't debut or can't do this? It's a fine line. Once again, it's a fine line. And that's why I want people to discuss in the comments. Someone said they shouldn't exist, period. Asians need more representation in the media. Period.
I agree with that. Say, like, a white girl from, like, the States comes over and, like, goes through all this training and, like we said, and, like, goes to debut. Is that kind of, like, taking away from, like, what K-pop is and, like, everything that K-pop has worked for? But it's also, like, this girl has also worked and put in the work just as everyone else did. But, again, it's, like, hard to say.
Yeah. And I think that K-pop, and someone else responded this too, that K-pop has given, like, a stage for Asians to shine. Because in the West, there's not much representation for anyone besides Caucasians. In most, like, areas of the industry. So is it kind of bittersweet to see, like, non-Asian people coming in and becoming idols? And, like, when does the line stop? Like, within the next 50 years or so, if this becomes more accepted, are we going to see less and less and less and less actually Korean K-pop groups?
And will that just, like, diminish, like, K-pop as a whole? Because if you have a whole group that's, like, that doesn't have anyone that's from Korea or of Asian descent, then is it then considered K-pop? But I guess it's the question of, are they singing Korean or not? Or are they just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very tricky situation. It's a very tricky subject.
And then with the singing in Korean thing, there's plenty of groups that have come out with, like, full English albums, like Monsta X. One of their recent comebacks was in English. BTS has songs in English. When idols and their groups translate songs to, like, make an English version, are those considered K-pop? They're not in English. I mean, they're not in Korean. So, like, is it just the language that's making it K-pop, or is it the ethnicity that's making it K-pop?
Exactly.
Someone said it doesn't make sense for non-Asians to be put in groups because it's originated from an Asian country. I guess from, like, a Western point of view, everyone's like, well, everyone should be included, like, diversity, blah, 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 diversity. But Korea's a very, how do you say it? Homogeneous? I want to say that's how you say it, homogeneous country. Yeah. Whereas where we are, I see maybe 15 to 20 different ethnicities a day. So is it just the Western point of view coming in and being like, you need to diversify, you need to do this? While, first of all, that's hypocritical, because over here, where's the diversity in a lot of different points in the industry? All these big time movies, all these, like, in makeup, in music, in makeup, in acting, and everywhere, it's kind of hypocritical to be like, well, Asia needs to diversify when we're pretty slow with diversifying our media. So where's the line once again?
Okay.
Hey, we're back. Camera died.
Yeah, our camera died. So sorry about that.
Might be a slight change of scenery. Don't talk about it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine. We're fine.
Okay. Getting right back into it. Someone said, "Will never sit right with me. K-pop is a way for Asian talent and culture to be showcased." Very much agree with that.
Yeah. I just think, like, when I see, like, these groups that have, like, non-Asian, like, members in them, like for Kachi, for example, it just doesn't sit right with me, because I feel like it does take away from K-pop and, like, everything that K-pop is.
Where is the line? Like I said, like 50 years from now, are there gonna be less and less, like, actually Korean groups? So, like, it's K-pop has, ooh, this is a big bug. K-pop has been giving like the Asian community a way to shine, and it's blowing up now, and it's been giving the Asian community a lot of, like, appreciation and recognition that it wasn't really getting before. So is foreign members, like American and UK, whatever, all types of members coming in, is that taking away from it, like you said? Someone said to the world, Yogan and City. Someone said, I mean, as long as they ain't Korea boos, they're cool. Processing.
Korea boos is a whole, that's a whole different topic.
That's a whole cast. Like, that's a whole different thing. Like, and I feel like for a lot of groups, I feel like they don't think they are. They're trying not to be.
But it comes off.
Like that. And whether the intention is there or not, it's there. And,
we see it.
We see you. Don't do that. Someone said, no, it shouldn't be done, but Kachi's not that bad, I guess. They're really sweet girls, so I don't know.
I don't really know Kachi off the basis of, like, their personality and, like, who they are. I just know them from, like, the one song that we heard earlier. So I can't really say. I bet they're not bad people. I bet they're nice, but it's just, like, their whole concept and them as a group just kind of makes me feel a bit weird. Yeah.
And, like, you don't have to be a bad person to do unintentionally hurtful things. They can be the sweetest people alive, but what they're doing may still be offensive to people. And, like, just because they're nice, do they get, like, a free card to pass by? Or should they change something about their concept? Because they can still be a group. Like other responses were saying, you don't have to sing in Korean to be a girl group just because you like K-pop.
What is going on?
I don't know if the camera picked that up. But that was... What the fuck?
What just happened? There's a loud thud.
Like boom boom pow type beat.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
kind of scary,
kind of spooky. Happy Halloween.
It is Halloween time.
Anyway, someone said if they are under a Korean label, they're not K-pop in my opinion. Demographic doesn't have to be just Korean, like Super M, but I feel like they're just appropriating and passing it off as K-pop. Points were made.
Points were made.
Who I thought I saw it on Twitter. It's probably not right. Was it Simon Cowell that was like looking to make a K-pop group?
Yeah. What the fuck? Simon Cowell just needs to just shut up. Like,
Simon Cowell is time to retire.
I mean, you got us with One Direction. That's the only one good thing you did. But other than that, time to retire.
What I wanted to say earlier, but I forgot, that I feel like if there was companies and stuff, like there are in Korea, that train people and stuff, in the West, I feel like there'd be less of this, like, controversial issue of, like, American and not, like, just non-Asian idols coming over to Korea to train or, like, become K-pop idols. Maybe it still would be, because I know a lot of people are really interested in K-pop right now and, like, Korean culture and things like that. But, like, imagine if there were companies like that here that, like, trained the same way and, like, debuted people the same way.
I feel like it would be a lot different.
But, like, also, would K-pop be as big if the West also had...
That's true.
Like, the companies and things like that, and, like, the debut and, like, the win.
And I feel like that's what makes K-pop so different and so special and so unique to any other type of, like, music, is because, like, these idols and, like, these people in these groups put in so much work, and it's so different to what we know here in the West.
I think that K-pop has been really interesting to me because of how different it is, like, how different the industry is. And, like, the idea of people going to companies and training and then debuting and, like, V-Lives and all these interactions and, like, fan signs and things like that, photo cards and albums, like, it's all this new stuff that, like, it doesn't happen.
No one else is doing.
Here. Yeah. And, like...
It's very unique to K-pop and to Korea in general.
So I feel like that's why it's so interesting, and that's why it's, like, blowing up so big, because it's so different to what the rest of the world sees. So if the rest of the world had it, then would it be still the same stage that's giving the Asian community a place to shine now if everybody else had it? I think that's why it's, like, unique. But I was just thinking, like, what if it was around the world? It's fine as long as they are fluent in Korean and go through the same training process.
Does it take away from, like, the stage and the platform that it's given Asian idols and Asian people?
And, like, plenty of idols that are of Asian descent come over and don't speak Korean fluently. Like, they learn in the process. So once again, is it the Korean language that's making it K-pop, or is it the ethnicity? Someone said, I'm not completely offended, but it does have problematic undertones that are a bit serious.
I feel that.
Like how the person said earlier that Kachi's nice, so, like, it's okay. But, like, even if they are nice people and they're not trying to offend people, they're still, like, even watching the music video, I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Like,
the mannerisms and, like, I don't know, it was just like...
in the way that, like, they're speaking Korean and speaking the language. Like, it's just, like, it's kind of...
It's, like, this weird, unsettling feeling. And I'm not even Asian, but, like, I just feel, like...
Yeah.
A little weird about it. I don't know why. Someone said it doesn't bother me at all, ! I think it's okay and there's nothing wrong with it. Very polar opposite from a lot of people. From one perspective, like, it's cool that K-pop may be diversifying and, like, including other talented people, because there's a lot of talented people out there. But, like, once again, is it taking away from the Asian community's, like, representation and, like, their new platform?
Exactly.
Not new. K-pop's not, like, brand new. It didn't come out this year, but, like, the way it's blowing up now.
Yeah.
Someone said, I mean, people can do what they want, I guess. If they want to sing in Korean, go off. But, like, they should be able to put in the same amount of work that Asian K-pop idols do. Extensive vocal and dance training, etc. Like, I didn't really have a problem with Kachi, but they are just obviously not as polished as an actual K-pop group. Compare them to someone like ITZY.
Felt that one.
Yeah. And I think that goes along with, like, the training and stuff. Like, if you're not going to be up to par...
Yeah, if you want to, like, promote yourself as, like, a K-pop group and, like, label yourself as that, then I feel like you need to put in extra work to make sure that you come up as like this really polished, solid group that can compete with everyone else.
And I don't feel like Kachi at this point can do that.
Yeah.
Like they said, compare them to ITZY.
There's no question.
There's no question. Like, I feel like you need to really, really, really go above and beyond to prove that, like, you're serious about it. If you want to be seen as, like, a serious group, like you said.
Exactly.
Someone said, I'm really not trying to be racist, though maybe I could be. Please let me know if I am. But I think K-pop belongs to Asians only because of the idea of K-pop. And I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but that's how I feel. I'm supporting the idea of more diversity in K-pop. Still, for me, it would be good if it's still a part of the Asian community. Example, POC from South Asia, like Z-boys and Z-girls, even though they're labeling themselves as Z-pop. Child.
What's Z-pop?
I don't know.
I've never heard of that. Z-boys and Z-girls? We're gonna have to look into that.
We're gonna have to look into that.
Because I have never heard of that.
Are we just old as shit, or like...
I don't know what that is. What, Z-girls and Z-boys?
And I kind of feel that. Like, I feel like we've been saying this whole time, like, K-pop has been giving the Asian community a place to shine. And, like, I do think that there's a lot of talent in the world, and it's cool that there are non-Asian idols being showcased and, like, showing their talents off. But, like, it's the polar opposite there, like, of opinions. Like, do we just leave it to the Asian community and let them have their stage, or do we open it up to have, like, more diverse groups to see different types of talents? Like that group that we were looking up earlier, Black Swan. They have a Senegalese member.
So pretty. She's so pretty.
Women. That's all I have to say about it. And we listened to their song. It's called Tonight.
So good.
But, like, I wonder what people's opinions are on her, because they debuted already. If you want to listen to their song, it's called Tonight. We'll link it in the description. But, like, I wonder what people's opinions are about her.
So I looked up what Z-pop is, and I just googled, like, what is Z-pop, and it says that it's launched by the Cosmic Group. Z-Pop Dream is the first global entertainment ecosystem to discover pop music talent. Starting initially from across Asia, it will help talent accelerate their rise to international stardom while staying constantly connected with millions of fans 24/7. These are
like different ethnicities and stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
So like an international JYP or SM?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
I think that's cool, like a whole group. And it said, because it's called Z-Pop because of, like, Generation Z, which is kind of cool in my opinion. I think that's pretty cool, because I don't think they're necessarily branding themselves as K-pop. But I feel like they're doing a lot of, like, I don't know, because I just looked into it, but they might be doing a lot of, like, the same things as K-pop
Trainees
does.
might do. Yeah, I think that's really, really cool, actually. International artists, but with, like, a training with roots in K-pop. Like, training, like, dance training, vocal training, rap training. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna look more into that.
Me too.
Later.
Someone said, I mean, I guess, just keep your groups, but don't classify yourselves as K-pop. Also, if you can't speak fluent Korean and all that, what you doing?
If you're gonna come out here and say that you're a K-pop group and, like, establish yourself as that, and you can't even speak the language that these songs are in, it's like, what are you doing? And
you just throw in, like, a couple Korean phrases in your song and call it K-pop.
It's not K-pop.
That, sweetie. Someone said, I feel really weird about it because, in my opinion, K-pop has been a gateway for Asians to shine since we don't have much opportunities in the West. And if there's, like, white or black people, I don't really care unless they're Asian or have some type of Asian descent in them. I don't know. I just want more representation. Like they said, it's giving the community, like, finally a place to shine and, like, showcase their talent. So, I mean, as long as the trainee or idol that's debuting isn't offensive, I guess they're not offended by it. But, like, it is kind of bittersweet by what I'm reading. Like, it's kind of bittersweet that they're finally getting this place to showcase their talents, and then you see non-Asian people, like, join the stage. It's like,
It's just kind of.
Someone said,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what my brain has been saying this entire episode.
Just, So we're gonna end off for today.
It's been a day.
This episode has been a wild ride.
It's been a wild ride. If you stuck along to the end, here's a cookie.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much for watching.
Our brains have just melted, I think, at this point.
At this point, bye. See you next Wednesday.
We royally messed that up. Thank you for watching.
Like if you want to like. Subscribe if you want to subscribe.
Comment. Please just comment anything about your opinions on this topic. Anything you want to say. We will really appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching again. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Someone said, honestly, if they already have whatever industry they're in, so there's point.
Huh?
We're cutting that one out. Because honestly, I can't even decode it.